All right, so we're doing a gel removal right now, and we're only have a few fingers left, but so it's been soaking for a bit. I'm going to just gently flake off this polish. If I feel any resistance, I will rewrap it. So for example, this edge right here, I can't gently push it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and rewrap it because I don't want to force that, and in doing so, damage the nail underneath. Flaked up super nice. Just really gently push it. Same thing for this one right there, that tip. I'm only doing a few fingers, but definitely normally by the time I would finish the other hand, these would be ready to go. So I only have one left here to do.
That one's kind of stuck on there.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we'll re-soak this one. And you want to make sure when you're putting your wraps on that you take the time to wrap and push down here so you know that that cotton is on top of the nail. All right. I'm going to take my little buffer and gently buff. That one's good to go. Her hands are a little colder, so that could be why it's not working as quickly. All right, if only all soak-offs were this fast. This one just needs a little extra time, so I'm gonna give it to it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and start the manicure on this hand. And the order of operations, you clip and file and then apply the cuticle softener. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my cuticle softener ready. You want to apply this before you clip and file the other hand so it has time to do its work. I don't think you can see this off camera, but I just got a little 2x2, a 1x1, I'm not sure what this is, and a Q-tip. I think it's a 1x1.
I think it's 1.5.
1.5 by 1.5. All right, so do you want to bring them down just a little bit? Did you already trim some?
I tried to get whatever I could, but if you see any cracks or anything.
These are a lot longer than these. Do you want me to just bring these down a little bit, meet in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you think looks good.
So there's two sides to this file. This side is 180, this side is 240. So we're going to use the 180 to bring down the bulk of the nail here, and then I can use the 240 side to smooth it. being very careful to pull the corner here to the side up so it doesn't brush against her skin. She's got a little hangnail here on the side, little piece of nail that's not attached. I'm gonna push that up just a little bit. Is that tender? I always want to ask if it's uncomfortable, but I like to push it with my orange wood stick. I don't know where you can see that. And then I can get more of it up so I can nip it. Now it's gone. Yeah. I want to get the nails shaped pretty much to where I want them, but I know that I'm going to go in and have to refile them pretty much after she washes because they're going to change shape. So I'm not going to concentrate too much on getting it exactly perfect yet. Now I'm going to put the cuticle away on. And I definitely want you to do it this way with a cotton pad and the Q-tip, so we keep the containers hygienic. Right. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit while I finish this removal. And that came right off now. You always need to be careful with this because you know that the last bit of the nail here is the oldest and weakest part of the nail, so the last thing we want to do is put any extra stress on it with the removal. Right. Here's another one of those pieces on this nail. Is that tender?
Mm-mm.
Now it's gone. A lot of people come to us because we are more gentle than other salons that rush through their services. So I want you to make sure that you're taking your time here. A lot of people are very sensitive with filing of their nails and clipping. So be very gentle and don't aggressively saw their nails, please. Right? Okay, here's another one. What about that one?
That's fine.
Okay. Well, this one, I don't know if you can see that at all. It's pretty attached there.
So what causes this?
I don't know.
'Cause I feel like
Just excess skin production. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mine do it all the time.
mine never
I used to bite
do
them.
it. Yeah, and now it's always there.
But definitely by smoothing it, trimming it and just smoothing it with a file versus really getting it and cutting it jagged, it's gonna grow back a lot smoother. Alright. Mhm. Alright, I'm gonna get a little more cuticle away. Let's see. Same thing with the metal pusher. We're just going to very gently push here. I don't want you aggressively pushing at all. You also always want to check to make sure that your tool isn't sharp, because these have been known to actually cut people's skin around the side of their nails, which would be tragic. I'd cry. There's another one of these little hangnails right there. I want to get it, but I'm going to wait, because if I keep changing tools as I'm doing my manicure, it's going to slow me down. So keep going with this, and then I'll go back with the nipper after the fact.
Is that what you call that tool?
Mm-hmm. The nipper.
Scary looking.
All right, so now, where was that? Right here. Is that tender?
Mm-mm.
Now it's gone. And again, I've nipped it, and now I'm just going to take that 180 side and just use that to gently smooth that down. All right, before she washes, I'm gonna go ahead and take the corners of this buffer and go in and get as much of this skin off as I can, very gently. I like these corners. You can get all up in the side walls really nicely with them without worrying about nicking your client with the file. All right, let's see what we got over here. It's pretty pathetic amount of cuticle here. Not much to see.
Because you keep good care of them for so many years now.
Some people just grow a lot though.
Mm-hmm.
So satisfying.
Peeling off glue.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. Put the ticket. So again, I think you can see a little better on this side. So I like to take these little corners and just get right in her little corners. By doing it with this process, I barely have to use my nippers, which is what we want. We're only trimming hangnails and such like that. Right, at this point I see tons of pieces of nail that are poking up and I want to file them, but I know that more are just going to poke up as soon as she goes and washes, which is the next step. So I'm going to let her go ahead and do that and have her wash. And while she's washing, I'm going to just straighten up my area here, tidy up. And we'll see you in a second. All right, we're back. So now I'm just going to make sure that I've got all these nails shaped just the way I want. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
She's a little tender underneath there right now.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, now another very important step is I want to make sure that there's no more cuticle stuck to these sidewalls here. And so I'm going to take my cuticle pusher here, this orange wood stick, and just very gently go around looking for any skin that's stuck there. I'm not seeing much, which is good. Some people I see a lot, and if I didn't do this step, they would definitely have lifting. I like to use the orange wood stick because I find that the metal pusher's pointy end sometimes can be way too pointy. So I feel safer with this. If you have a client that has really tough cuticles, if they don't get manicures very often and their eponychium is just really tight and is grown down low here, this is the time after they wash where the skin is softer and you can actually just gently push it up. What I would do it with is this right here because it's got the perfect shape there, and I would just gently guide that up. No forcing, just very gently. She doesn't really have it, I'm just showing you. And that way when I polish, I'm gonna have lifted that up off of there, and then it'll naturally just kind of settle itself down over the polish, and you're not gonna show regrowth as quickly. If you don't push that back, then after just a few days, it can look like it's been growing out for a week. So make sure you always do that. And now, this is a fresh one I just grabbed. This one has cuticle stuff on it. I like to use the buffer to get any fine little pieces because I know that that's not going to accidentally give the little paper cut nicks with the file can. So I just take the buffer, get it up underneath these corners and just kind of lift up, and that will get rid of those pieces. And again, she's got a little sensitivity here, so I'm going real gently. You should treat every client as if they have very sensitive fingers. So I'm buffing all around those edges there. I'm also buffing the skin around the nails here, and that's gonna lift up any pieces that need to be nipped, any little pieces that are on their way to becoming little hangnails. We wanna get those before they have that chance, because chances are your client does not have these same tools at home to take care of them. Is that tender? It's gone. It's gone. All right. So, using this to get any of that dead skin while the skin's still soft. So I'm kind of going out of order here is what I just did, but while the skin is still soft from washing, I'm doing this, and I'll go back in and finish file. And she doesn't have much. Some clients have a ton. Maybe why your nails last so long.
Probably.
Versus some, because you don't have a lot of buildup of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we'll finish file. I'm using the 240 side of the file right now to do this finish filing. Okay, and we'll go on for these final buffs. As I'm doing that, I don't know if you can see that really good piece of skin right there that's popped up. She's got another one on this side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just in these corners, getting in her grooves. And this nail is broken down really low for her. So sometimes when that happens, you can see the hyponychium up underneath there. I don't know if you can see that there. But on some people, that skin is super tender, including me, super tender on me. So you want to be very careful with that. I like to take the buffer and brush the skin up top here if it looks like there's some dry patches, and that way if there's anything that would be peely later, I can catch it now. That looks really good. We're just gonna nip this little piece, this big piece. So I nipped it, and then I'm gonna take the 180 side, that's the rougher grit, and just gently smooth that. All right, now we are ready to scrub these and get polishing. And use our Scrub Fresh, which I don't think you can see in the camera there. Ah, Scrub Fresh. My bottle's low, so it's not pumping, of course. There we go. We want to get it fully saturated because we're going to scrub it, not wipe it. Listen close so you can hear it being squeaky clean. All right, so I've scrubbed the top. I also want to scrub that edge. By scrubbing the edge, that also can help me determine if there are some rough edges where it'll catch, just like that one.
That's not bad now.
This is your trouble, girl.
Yep. Someone always wants to
This is always trouble. All right. We are clean. Let me get my palette. Next step is we're going to dehydrate these nails even more. We're going to use Band-Aid. And Band-Aid disperses pretty well, so as long as you get it on and just rub it around, it will disperse over the top of the nail. Sometimes when I do this, that's when I'll notice even more little pieces of skin that I want to nip, because once they're dehydrated, they're really white, so you could see it. But so far, so good. And next, we go in with our protein bond. This will help even more with adhesion. It's very sticky. And you do want to make sure that you go in with this protein bond with a little more intention and treat it almost as if you're doing your base coat. You want to get all the edges because we want to concentrate on the areas that typically would lift the soonest, which are the side walls and the free edge. Now we're going to go with our base coat. So everybody has their own way of polishing. I prefer to dump my brush and then go back with precision, starting with a finger other than the pinky because that's the smallest one, and you're more likely to flood the pinky if you go in it with a full brush. So just dump my polish on one of the bigger nails, and then I can go back and use that same polish to do the job. And do the thumb last. All right, now she has short nails. I want to make sure these are really capped well. I'm going to wipe any excess polish off here. And I'm going to go in and do a little backwards motion here. Give her a little backstroke, and that way this can wrap around that free edge without a little hair. Without getting the polish all over her skin. And I'm pulling down with my finger if there's a tight corner, just to make sure we just get the nail, not the skin. I'm also going to use my orange wood stick here to make sure if I got any on the skin. I like this because it's dry. If I were to go in with my cleanup brush, which I will at some point, but if I go with my cleanup brush, it's more likely that the acetone might spread out, or the scrub brush, and then dilute the polish. So by using this dry stick, I'm not worried about that. All right, same thing here. I'm going to lay down the polish just kind of in the center of the nail. I'm going to remove the excess so I don't flood the nail. And then I just take the brush and push this gel where I want it to go. And backstroke. Smooth. I don't think I got any on her skin, but just in case, I'm going to use this. That way we don't have the nail sticking to the skin. Now we're going to go in under the lamp. 30 seconds. Now you'll be able to see better with this. So I've got a full brush. I'm just going to dump and dump. Of course, if my polish was running low and it's hard to get a full brush, then I might not be able to do it this way, but pulling down that side wall, pushing the polish up into the corners, pushing that polish up. Side walls. Pulling that skin off to the side. Pulling the skin down here so I don't get that corner. And now going in with the backstroke, pulling that skin down, really wrapping that all around. If this step is not done properly, your manicures aren't gonna last. You can get the polish on, it could look perfect, but if you don't have the base properly applied, you'll have service breakdowns. So take your time with this. I know it's easy, like it's clear, you can't really see any imperfections, but you need to take your time with this base coat. This is the most important one. Go in with the thumb, dropping that big glob right there in the middle, wiping the brush, and then pushing this up. Pulling that skin down, backstroke. Pulling that skin down. And then when I was wiping this one, I noticed it felt like it kind of hit the side here. I'm not sure, I can't tell. But better safe than sorry. So there you go. All right. So we're good. We'll switch this out. All right. I haven't used this color in a long time.
It's nice.
I don't know if you can even see. All right, we'll come back when we're doing the other hand. All right, we're back. So we're going in with the color polish. And again, I'm gonna do a little dump of color on each nail here. Whoops, don't touch. A little touching. Get this. All right, I'm gonna get all the polish off my brush here and go back in with what I've laid down. Just picking it up on my brush and then pushing it back up into that sidewall and cuticle line there. I notice a little is on this side. Okay. Pushing that polish up into all those edges. Pulling her skin down to avoid getting it on the skin. But really pushing this up into that cuticle wall because we want this polish to not look grown out very quickly. But we also don't want it to flood. Okay. Pushing it up in there. Pulling it. A little backstroke, especially on these ones here. These are really short. You always want to do very sheer coats, thin coats. You don't want to try to ever get your color to be opaque with your first coat. It won't cure properly and you'll get lifting. You might even get wrinkling in the lamp if it's too thick, which is no fun. So I'd much rather do 3 thin coats than ever have to deal with a wrinkled polish. pushing down that side piece of skin there so I can get a nice, good back stroke. And smooth it down. Same thing on here on this side. Just get a nice bead of polish there on that tip without getting polish on your client's skin. This now, it's got a little bit of build up down the side. I'm taking my cleanup brush. It's actually dry. I don't have any remover on it. If I did feel like I needed to have some remover on it, I would go in with the Scrub Fresh versus the acetone. Scrub Fresh is mostly alcohol. And if that were to get on the polish, it'd be less likely to break it down. Pulling the skin off to the side. Back stroke. Pulling the skin. I'm pulling the skin up her thumb here to expose as much of that nail plate as I can. Pushing it up. All right. This is a shimmery polish, so it shows any brush stroke. Just taking a little extra time to smooth each one out. It looks really good. I am gonna go in with a little Scrub Fresh here on this pinky because it looks like she's got maybe just like a little bit of her nail might be a little jagged right there. So it's picking up any excess would show. But now it's gone.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
All right. Okay, so with this design, she wanted a matte top coat, but I am going to go in with the Shellac Express top coat first and do a layer of that, and then put the matte top on top of that. That gives it a lot more durability. Here these beauties are, straight out of the lamp. Love this matte. So beautiful. Okay, so the matte top coat is not as sticky as your standard shellac top coat, but I'm still gonna wipe it. And again, I'm wiping the base of them as well. And this gives me a good chance to make sure that as I was polishing, there weren't any bumps that maybe later would create any problems. And there aren't. Nice. I'm gonna save this cotton piece to reuse after I do the massage. So I'm gonna go in for the lotion. We've got our little reusable, disinfectable lotion spatula. Nothing to see there. All right. So this is a basic gel mani, which includes the hand massage. The nurturing and healing is where we would go in with the full arm and hand massage. With this, we just want to make sure we get everything really hydrated. We spent so much time dehydrating their nail plate so everything will stick. We need to go ahead and get that back in there. Rub that lotion in really good. All right, and we want to get these photo ready, which means I need to expose this matte top coat again. So I am going to go back in with a little more alcohol. If I wasn't dealing with matte at this point, I wouldn't rub the lotion necessarily off the top of the nail again, but I'm being careful just to really get the nail itself, not the skin. It's so pretty. So cool. Okay. Now I'm going to take this towel away so we can take a beautiful photo. I don't like towels in photos. On me.